Hey, this is Carrie with Canary Quilts, and this is the third week of Stronger Together Quilt-A-Long that Fat Quarter Shop's doing, and it's to celebrate Black History Month. This is a pattern that was put together by Michelle Ramsey. She chose 3 African Americans from history that inspired her, and then they inspired her in this quilt. So the first week was Katherine Johnson, who was a mathematician at NASA, and she inspired the stars in the quilt. The second week was York, who was an enslaved African American who went with Lewis and Clark on their journey to the Pacific coast. And that is the mountains that you see here that are inspired by him and his journey. And then this third week is Charles Young, who was an African American who was the third African American to graduate from West Point. And he was also one of the first non-military superintendents, and I shouldn't put it that way. The military used to take care of the national parks, and then he was hired as a superintendent at the Sequoia National Forest Park, and he changed the way we take care of our parks. He built up the paths to make them easier and more beautiful, and so the paths that you see in between the mountains here are inspired by him in her quilt. Also the green and the blue right here that you see. So that's this week's that we're doing. This week isn't as intense as last week. There isn't as much to do. You get kind of used to how you're putting your pieces together. Plus there aren't as many pieces to pick from. So it's a little bit easier to put together. So I show you how I go through that and talk about Charles Young a little. And it's been a lot of fun. Next week we actually sew this together, and I can't wait to do that. I just can't wait. I was in love with this when I first saw it, and I'm really in love with it now that I've done it. It's such a great quilt to have a purpose and a reason for why all the parts exist in this quilt. So it's been a lot of fun to do. Anyway, if you want to stick with me and see what it looks like next week, hit the subscribe button, notification bell, and you'll see next week, and you'll get to see all the other fun stuff we have coming out here. So let's get started on week 3. All right, this is week 3 of the Stronger Together quilt, which celebrates Black History Month. And you can see these are all the pieces we have left, and they're mostly blues and greens. And that there is a reason behind that. It's because this week the spotlight is on Charles Young. He was the first African American National Park superintendent, and he was assigned to the Sequoia National Park. And when he went out there, it was suffering from poor management, and him and his troops built and cleared roads in one summer, which was more than they'd done in the previous 3 years. And they're roads and trails that are still in use today. So she's honoring him with the colors of the Sequoia National Park here. So very interesting, very interesting. I love history. It's very, very interesting. So this week, in honor of Charles Young, we are going to put together the top summit units, the middle summit units, summit blocks, right joining units, right ravine blocks, right summit blocks, middle ravine units, bottom ravine units, and ravine block. It sounds like a lot. I don't think it's going to be a lot. There isn't really a lot here. I think last week was, there was a lot last week. So this week, let's start with the top summit unit. So let me pull my pieces out of the way here. So we're going to need to make 4 of these, and the first one is going to be a T and a D on the outside. Let's just start with the outsides. And I don't need this D again right now. And then we're going to need a double B and a double N. There's our double N. And our last double B, we do not need the BB tag anymore. And then double E, that's the last one here. Put that away. And double I's, which are the green, or the blues, I guess. Teal in my case. And another double eye. Let's just go with this color, because these colors are getting mixed up, remember? And a double N. So that's our units are going to be, we're going to make these 4 units. Let's get all of this put up here. These 4 units, so now we need to fill in between. So we need a pink. So the pink has to go next to that pink, and then we've got a green down there. And then we've got a green and a blue. Again, it's just puzzling. It's just puzzling. And yes, these are the same colors. I just have several different blues. And our greens match in the middle. So that one's done. Now we need a yellow and a blue. Yellows have to touch each other. And then we need a, I know what we need a blue and a green. And that's going to go like that. Remember, these blues were a couple of fat quarters. So now we need a pink and a blue, which is right here. So it's got to go like that. And a blue and a blue. Where's my blue and blues? Right here. Here's my blue and blues. So there we go. That's how that one's going to look. And then down here, we need another blue and blue. But we need the other side. We need this side. So there's that. And a blue and a green, which is right here. So, gotta turn that over. There we go. Again, just putting the puzzle pieces together. So we've done this before. Put these together in rows, iron the seams open. So, when I come back, I'll show you what these look like. Okay, there's my top summit units right here. Making sure these colors are the same, these are the same, and these are the same. And they are. So I'm going to set these aside. We're going to make another unit here called the middle summit unit, and then we're going to make the summit block. So that's how we're working. Okay, blue, 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 green, pink, yellow, light pink, blue. And then we have blue, green, dark blue, green, light, or blue and green. There we go. There we go. Okay, put these together, iron seams open. All right, there's my middle summit units. So now we need to make these summit blocks right here. And we need to grab a KK and GG, which I've done over here, and then these units that we just made. And we need to put them together. So it's obvious which ones will go here. These big pieces, one will go with this one, and these 3 will go with these to match these center. But we need to line these up with the right one. So let's do that first. All right. So it should be pretty easy. Like the pink and blue will go together. Let's see, we got a yellow and a blue. We've got this pink and green. So it's fairly easy kind of to match the colors, and you see what I mean? The pinks are over here, the greens in the middle, the blues are over here, and then the same with this one. We're making like these, we're making the mountain come up and then over like this. That is not correct. There we go. Come on, Carrie, look at your colors. It is a little confusing with me doing the two different colors, but I get it. I get it. Teals always go together. So this is going to be our summit here. And then we got green and we got blue. So that's the first thing we have to do is put these together. We'll iron them open and then we'll add this to the bottom of all of them, these two. And then we will have our summit blocks done. So let me get these done. We'll take a look at them and show you what's next. All right, there's my summit blocks. I know it's hard to tell. I'm just putting together all these things, but when it goes together, it's going to be beautiful. And I need to get a lint roller. Whew. Got all these little pieces of thread. But anyway, there's my summit blocks. So now we're going to move on to what's called the ravine blocks. And this is the last thing we're building are these right here. So not much left to do. Okay, we need to grab our double N's, our double I's, and our D. And let's put these together. We are going to have a double N and a D. We are going to have a double I and a double N. And then we are going to have a double N. It goes like this. So those are going to go like that, but this one's going to go like this. So we can put these aside for now. And back to our puzzle pieces. Let's see, this needs to go like this needs to go like this. So you can see the blues over here and the greens over here. Then this one, we need the green and blue, which is going to go like that. And that, yep, there's the green, there's the blue. And then this one, we need our double greens. So we need that and that. Yep, that's correct. That and that and that and that. Yep. Okay. So again, 4-patch. Put these together. Iron seams open. Okay, here's my joining units, is what they're calling them. Right joining units. Now we need to make the right ravine blocks by grabbing our B and our LLs. We're going to add them onto these blocks just like this. So this one's going to go on the bottom of the double green, and then these two are going to go on the top matching these colors. So let's put them together and iron it open. Okay, here's our right ravine and right summit block. Ravine, summit. So now we're doing middle ravine, bottom ravine, and then we're going to finish up by doing the ravine blocks. And then next week we put it all together. We see if I did it right. So let me get, well, basically all the rest of our pieces we're going to need. So let's see. We've got these. We've got these, and we've got all these over here. So we're going to start with our double M and double H. And we only need to make 2 of these. Basically 1 of each. So there's these 2. I think I'll just do the next 2 and just get them all done at once. So this is the middle ravine. Let's do the bottom ravine. We need an NN. We need a double I, and this one's going to have a double I on both ends. And in the middle, what do we need? So our double I needs 2. And it needs to go like this. And this one, I assume, will go like this. Let me double check because of the blue, the green, and the green. So these are the next 2. This is the middle ravine, bottom ravine. put them together in rows, iron those seams open, and then we'll come back and we'll put these pieces on, and woohoo! We'll be done with this week. Next week we put this quilt together. So close. All right, we're in the home stretch, people. We're in the home stretch. And again, as I was making these, I was thinking about Charles Young and how I would love to go out to California and see these trails that he made. I've been to several national parks. The only places I've been out west is to Washington State and Olympia. I think it's Olympia National Park. Is that what it's called? So hopefully I can make it out there someday and see these trails that I have made into this quilt. That would be really cool to do someday. So the next thing we do is we've got to build these two blocks right here. So we need to make blue and blue in the middle, and let's see, how does this go with this, doing that? There we go, I got it. Green and green in the middle, and then we've got blue like that. There we go. So we'll put these two together, and then we'll come back and put these together, and we'll be done. Means we have come to the end of making all our blocks because I don't have any more pieces. So this is what we did today, and then we did these summit and ravine pieces. And these are summit blocks that we did in the beginning. So it's pretty much been about the same. It's a puzzle, getting all these colors lined up and making sure you got them going the right way and you got the right colors in the right spot. It really is like putting a puzzle together. It's been a lot of fun. It's been challenging to do that. Not necessarily piecing or anything like that. Just more challenging trying to put it all together, but next week we put it out, or we put it all together. We actually put our quilt together, so you can see what it looks like with my funky fat quarters going on. I think it's going to be pretty. Anyway, I hope you had time to read up on Charles Young, who was the superintendent. He was the first African-American National Park Superintendent at Sequoia National Forest Park in 1903. He was a brigadier general, posthumously, but still, he's a brigadier general. And he was the third African-American to graduate from West Point. I mean, it's just amazing back in the early 1900s, where we come. We still have a long way to go. I encourage you to check him out, check out his history, and see what a great contribution he has made to our national parks. And let me know if you've been to the Sequoia National Forest Park. I've never been. I've always wanted to go, just have never made it out to California. And like I said, when I went up to Washington State, just the size of the trees was just mind-blowing. It was mind-blowing how big these trees were. Anyway, join me next week when I put this together. I had fun making this video. Hit the subscribe button, notification bell, and we'll have some fun together on the channel, and I'll see you next week. Bye!